One of the biggest sources of stress during divorce is money. Questions about finances can quickly feel overwhelming. How will I manage on my own? Will I be able to support myself? What happens to the lifestyle I'm used to? Hi, everyone, and welcome to Discussions with a Divorce Coach. 5 questions in 15 minutes. Today, we're talking about money coaching. I'm Kimberly Lorah, licensed professional counselor, certified divorce coach, and founder of Blossom Coaching. And I help individuals move through divorce with clarity, confidence, and courage. For many people, divorce is the first time they are truly looking at their finances independently. And it's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. Money is often tied to emotions, beliefs, habits, and the stories we carry about security, independence, and worth. That's why I'm excited to introduce today's guest. Today, I'm joined by Julia Shteynberg, a financial coach who helps people better understand their relationship with money so they can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Julia's approach goes beyond budgeting or financial rules. She helps clients uncover the money beliefs that quietly shape their financial decisions. Today, Julia is here to share her expertise and help us better understand how financial coaching can support people navigating major life transitions like divorce. Julia, welcome to Discussions with a Divorce Coach. Hello, Julia. It is so nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's so great to be here, Kimberly.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who benefits most from working with you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. My name is Julia Shteynberg, and I am a money coach, specifically for high earning women. I teach women really how to confidently manage their money in order to grow their wealth. And that is comprised of the money, like mindset piece, and
Mhm.
also the practical aspect of actually looking at your figures, understanding what your goals are, getting really clear on both of those things, and then drawing a map and a framework on how to get from here to where you want to be. So that's what I do. And I came to this place in my life because in my original career, if you will, my
Uh-huh.
first career, I was in the corporate finance for a really, really long time.
Okay.
And then I just realized that I want to be able to help women with their cash flow. I want to help women grow their wealth, as well as, kind of companies. But that was my focus. That's my new focus. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you serve many roles, but what I hear most is that you're a guide, right? It sounds like you guide women through their money
Yep.
management. Okay.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. And it's funny because, money management, I feel, has been kind of like taken by the investment industry, has been
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
owned by that. And it's not the case. Money management, it's much broader than just your investments and your stock portfolio. Money management starts in your mind. It starts with your beliefs. It starts with your habits. It starts with what you think about money and your experiences about money. And all of that leads into how you handle it and ultimately ends up, yes, ideally,
Yeah.
hopefully in the investment portfolio.
And it's
Yeah.
funny because when we first met, we were talking about the mindset because I'm a therapist and, more in the mental health field, but you overlap a lot with mental health and mindset and money. Um,
Absolutely.
so my next question is, what kinds of challenges or needs do clients bring to you?
Yeah. So typically clients come to me when they are ready to take ownership over their
Mhm.
financial education and their finances. So they're no longer in a place of like, yeah, I really need to, because that's kind of coming from a place of need. They're like, I want to. They're
Mm.
ready. They desire it. They want to learn how to level up their life and level up their finances. And typically, what the things that I hear the most is that things just feel with their finances kind of foggy, kind of blurry, kind of tangled. That's the thing that I see most often is like women will come to me and be like, I don't even really know what I'm spending. I am making a lot. I know I've got money left over at the end of the month, but I don't really know where it goes.
Mhm.
And that's like the biggest thing that I hear from women. And it's very common. It's very common, especially as your income starts growing. You start feeling a little bit more relaxed. You don't feel like you have to have as tight of an eye on it,
Mhm.
right? So that transition brings about kind of some changes in your mindset. So,
Yes, and
yeah.
it's again, it's back to mindset, right? With untangling. And I also heard intentionality, right? So you have to have that intention to want to go from I need to do this to I want to do this.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, where would you suggest someone first focus if everything feels urgent? If somebody comes to you and they are kind of in that messy place with their money, where do you think that someone should put their focus first? How do you help people with that?
Yeah. So I have a process that I work through and I kind of take them through kind of like some 5 questions around a money wheel. And I ask them to kind of like give themselves, not themselves, but give their experience with these different pieces of money a rating from 1 to 10. And
Okay.
based on that, we kind of start prioritizing. But if we're not working together yet and you're trying to figure this out on your own, the first place that I would look when things are super chaotic is look at where your money has gone in the past. So, like, take last month and just start looking. Just start looking at what your expenses are because especially during a period of transition like divorce, because things feel so chaotic, you feel like you're kind of like not
Hmm.
grounded,
Right.
right? Like you're kind of like everything is shaking. But if you can get grounded in at least knowing where your money has gone, even last month, that will bring about so much clarity and
Mhm.
so much more lightness. You might not like what you see, and that's okay.
Right.
That's the
This is
next level,
true. Right.
right?
Right.
But it's just about like
Right.
start getting aware. That
Right.
would be step one.
You
Yeah.
have to know where you are before you start doing anything.
Google Maps. I'm always
Yes,
saying that, like, right? Like,
exactly.
if Google doesn't know where you are, it's not going to know how to get you where you
I
want to
love
go.
that. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're talking about helping people get grounded and find their way. So when would you say would be the right time for somebody to reach out to a professional like you during, say, a transition like the divorce process? So if someone's
Yeah.
struggling, when should they reach out to you?
So I'm a big believer in planning ahead, right? Like
Mhm.
you want to be in the best place, the best position you can put yourself in is do something before you need to do it, before it becomes urgent, before your emotions and
Mhm.
the chaos kind of starts guiding your decision, right? You
Right.
want to do things from as clear of a head as you possibly could. So with that said, I would say in the earlier stages of
Okay.
divorce and any kind of transition that you're expecting. That's if you know that it's coming. If unfortunately, if it gets
Right.
sprung on you,
Right.
right, then as soon as you feel like you can, because things are only going to get a bit more chaotic. So as soon as you can get some kind of grounding and some kind of awareness and comfort in where you stand in your finances, I say that's like a domino effect. When you can get comfortable in your finances,
Yeah.
there is something about that just dominoes that confidence in other areas.
Right. And
So
I
as soon
think
as
it's
you can,
security, right? Like we're looking for that security. We want to
yeah,
know we're
yeah,
safe. And
absolutely.
the reality is financial safety is really important, right? Financial comfort. Just
Yeah,
being being confident that you have money to take care of your needs.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a big driver. Yeah. And money means different things for different people, but I mean, security and safety is absolutely one of
Mhm.
them, right? Like money is intertwined in every single aspect
Yes.
of our life, and security
Yeah.
is a big one. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being proactive is important. When we don't feel secure, how do you bring structure to something that feels chaotic for a person?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the way to bring structure to a chaotic situation is kind of recognizing where you have the ability to create some level of certainty,
Okay.
right? Because it's all circumstances, right? Like there's
Mhm.
like all kinds of crazy circumstances that you don't necessarily have control over. So recognizing where you do have control and grounding into that can be a big mental relief an acknowledgement, like, okay, because otherwise it's like it feels like everything is out of control,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I think it's a really important thing to ground yourself in and recognize, like, no, 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 there are a few areas where I do have control. I have control over my reactions. I have
Hmm.
control over my actions. I have control over my thoughts. And whether people know it or not, they also have control over managing their emotions.
Hmm.
So I would say
Yeah.
that's the biggest area where people can feel a bit more in control when things feel chaotic.
Control is something that is so important with life in general, but when you're going through transitions or there is conflict or there are challenges. So I love that you brought up control also. Um, when people are going through the transition of divorce, things do tend to feel chaotic. What do you believe your role is in the divorce process? What's important about what you bring to people who are going through divorce?
Yeah. I help women feel empowered
Mm.
and feel, as this word again, in control of their money. And oh, I'm like getting goosebumps. And when you
Yeah.
feel empowered and in control with your money, you really feel like you can take on the world, right? So I
Mhm.
help women feel capable. I help them see their resilience. I help them build their own trust in themselves, and I help them build financial confidence. And the combination of all those things lays such a strong groundwork for being able to handle a lot of uncertainty
Mhm.
in, kind of the difficulty of the divorce
And that
space.
confidence in feeling independent, right? That you can do it, you're
Exactly.
capable of it, and you might be able to have a little bit of fun or a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot
Yeah.
of fun. I'm actually, my latest client is this woman, and her husband passed 5 years ago,
Mm.
and she found herself for the first time. She's in her early 60s, and she's never managed money before. And she came to me and she's like, I want to feel like I have control over it. I want to understand it. I want to know it. I don't want to feel like, I know people are taking, or like I'm being taken care of, but she's like, I want to know.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that
Hmm.
is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I always like to end my conversations with my guests with a little bonus question. So for you, my question is, when was the moment in your career that changed you?
Mm. The moment in my career that changed me was the moment that I decided to leave corporate.
Hmm.
Um, it was such a challenging decision. It was so hard for me. Just to kind of give a quick background,
Hmm.
my family, I'm an immigrant. My family are immigrants, and from an immigrant perspective, you don't leave a very high paying job when you
Hmm.
don't have anything
Yeah.
kind of backing you up.
Right.
Um, and that's just the mindset. And I didn't, but I was in such a challenging place that I decided to let go and leave anyway. And that was such a moment of self-trust and self-confidence. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what stands out to me the most. I was not afraid of disappointing my mom, my parents. I wasn't afraid of disappointing. I mean, I was very uncomfortable with it, but I did it anyway because I was like, I need to do this for myself. And that was a massive, massive moment for me. Yeah.
And that's wonderful because it sounds like you are now helping other women find their confidence, find their clarity, push through that comfort zone to take chances and to take
Yeah.
risks and just to have that trust in themselves
Yeah.
to follow their hearts.
Yeah. Follow what's inside, that
Yeah,
burning passion inside of them.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's like it's my biggest passion to help women do
yeah,
this. It unlocks a completely different level of life.
yeah,
And that's awesome. I love
yeah.
that.
Yes, I do too. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you, and thank you for
You
sharing
too.
your wealth of information and your stories with us. And
Thank you.
again, thank you so much. Divorce often requires people to rethink not only their emotional life, but also their financial independence. Having someone who can guide that process with both strategy and compassion can make a tremendous difference. For those watching or listening who would like to learn more about Julia's work or connect with her, visit her at www.moneycoachjulia.com. We'll include her information in the episode description. Divorce is a transition. The more informed you are, the more clarity you have. The more clarity you have, the more confident that you feel. And the more confident that you feel, the more courage you gain. Thanks for joining me for Discussions with a Divorce Coach. Remember, your marriage may have ended, but your life is not over. If you found today's conversation helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who needs a little empowerment and encouragement in their journey. And if you'd like more support, tools, and guidance, visit me at www.kimberlylorahcoaching.com, where you don't just go through divorce, you grow through it and blossom into your next chapter. Treat yourself with grace and space today.